my mind would go blank. I would say like one thing and then, oh no, people are looking at me.
Yeah, it would throw you. Yeah, I found that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing that, it's not for everyone. And, for those who find the ability to, go with it and feel exhilarated by the experience and use that to help fuel them on, then a lot of them do go on to becoming very adept at what they do. I mean, like I said, the Love Police, they were the main inspiration for me, going megaphoning and I sort of, incorporated that into what I do, and also giving out free hugs as well, because I kept having people coming up to me, and arguing with me on different bits and pieces and, things like that. But mostly people ignored me. So I was thinking to myself, well, what else can I do to sort of get more interest? And I saw the free hugs campaign video, and I just right, I'm going to incorporate that into it. So it brings it, it gets my foot in the door, so to speak, for that sort of thing. And I think that's one thing that we as the movement have, really do have on our side, when we leave ourselves open for different kinds of approaches to incorporate into our activism and use that as a sort of multifaceted, methodology for getting this information out there. And obviously one of the best things to do is to do, media and videos like the videos you do,
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I think that's one of the most effective ways to reach people, or at least it has been for me. I mean, I never imagined that I would end up getting so many views on some of these videos, and it really is just, it's really powerful to see that how much of an effect you can have with just this short little piece of media you created, even if it's something as silly as two pictures bouncing around on the screen, joking about the Zeitgeist movement being a cult.
Yeah, it's, for me, I'd say that, creating videos and podcasts, it's almost a sense of therapy, as an antidote for the frustration that I can feel sometimes. Just getting something out and off my chest and to share with people is definitely one of the ways that I use to combat the sense of frustration that we feel. Because I dare say, I empathize a lot with a lot of society when they come up to us time and time again, and they ask us, well, how do we do this? How do we get from here to there? How do we transition? And and that, I certainly do from time to time experience that frustration. Would you say that you from time to time feel frustrated or maybe demotivated at time to time? And if so, how do you cope with that?
Yeah, definitely. When you just look at the state of the world today and how many things are wrong with it and how many just problems there are, it can be hugely demotivating. You feel like there's nothing you can do. I'm like, oh, I made a video that got, 10,000 views or 20,000 views. I'm like, that's great, but what is that really going to do? How is that going to, create change in the world, something tangible that you can see being realized in an actual amount of time in front of you? And I think the only way for me to really deal with that, and I think that's a part of the reason why I've been sort of missing in action for almost a year now. I haven't created many videos or done much of anything over the last year. I did a talk at Z-Day, and I've made a couple short videos of me talking at the camera, but I haven't really been producing a lot of media because I just had to kind of disconnect from this whole thing and just sort of take some time for my own life to sort of work on how I'm going to move forward as a person, how to sort of, because like you said, I hit the ground running after learning all this stuff, and like, okay, I got to do something about it. And then as you keep doing these things and you're realizing that, oh, this is more of a long haul thing, the world isn't going to change, you know, because I made 3 or 4 videos. This is something that I'm going to have to sort of incorporate into my life and find some balance in my life with this and with other things. And I think the biggest thing for me has been sort of to take some time for myself and to, first of all, I've been eating a lot better. I've learned, you know, a lot about nutrition and what kinds of foods you can make that will make you feel better when you eat them, because you feel healthier, you have more energy, you feel more awake and alert. And just taking time in your life to look at things that are good and not just focusing all the time on, you know, oh, this is so inefficient that they're building this with, like, I was listening to you and James talk about, you know, walking around and just seeing, oh, they're still building things with wood, and why don't we have 3D printers, and why don't we have this? And like, when you start looking at the world in that way, seeing problems and inefficiencies everywhere, and it's easy to do, especially like once you kind of get into this zeitgeist thing and this realization, it can be incredibly demoralizing, and it can distract you from looking at things in the world and in your life that are actually good and things that you do have that you can be thankful for. Like, we live in a country where there's lots of food, and I know it's really shitty that I have to go to a job, but at least I can go to a job and make money and buy food and go out and do things that are good. So I think the way that I've kind of dealt with that has been to shift my focus a little bit away from all these problems. And not that you're ignoring the problems, but you got to kind of put it into the right perspective in your life. You have to make room for good things as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, I mean, that is the positive slant that we have to put onto things. We've got to inject humor into it. We've got to appreciate the things that we have. And there's a few videos in particular by Danny Shine. You'll find his YouTube channel, I think, is called Spiritual Entertainer. He's the older guy that was part of the Zeitgeist, the Love Police. And there's a few videos that he's put out recently where he's actually telephoned a particular company. I think one of them was Bosch, I think, the manufacturer of the fridge that he's got. And it's really interesting how he's actually rung them up with the express purpose of communicating appreciation to them. Where instead of, because it's the polar opposite to what they normally get, which is people ringing up to complain about their products.
I haven't seen that. I love that idea. That's awesome. I've seen a few of his videos where he makes calls to different companies, and sometimes he's playing around and having fun and kind of bugging them. And but I really like that idea. Just like, I'm sure their reactions are priceless. They're just like, oh, you're just calling to say, like, you appreciate that your food is being kept cold by our product? Like, is there anything else? Oh, I have to go watch those. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's also there's an idea that he expressed on one of the V radio shows. I don't know whether he's actually done anything for this yet, but he expressed the idea of, instead of a march to demonstrate against something, one of the ideas that Danny expressed is that, how about, I think he called it an appreciation march, where everyone comes, and instead of, holding up a banner against a particular thing or to rally for a particular cause, instead everyone come with the view of expressing your appreciation for something. It doesn't matter what it's for, but, you could say, I'm marching to express appreciation for my mother's health, or I'm expressing appreciation for the fact that my microwave works, anything, it's, and
imagine how good you would feel coming home from a march like that. You would just feel so empowered by all these people who just are expressing something that they're happy about, something that they wanted to go and shout out to the world, like, oh, this is amazing in my life and I'm happy for it. Like, instead of, oh, here's problems and problems. It's, I really like, Danny Shine, for that kind of stuff. I think a lot of my perspective on that was in some part inspired from his.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really interesting videos that he's done. I think that there's one in particular where he's basically for the most part of the video he's just looking and smiling at the camera. It's filmed like in a bedroom, I think, or something, and it's sort of like almost like a guided meditation sort of thing where he's just like, saying, I'd like us all to just, I think it's something along the lines of, take a moment to think about the good things in your life and to smile. And he just sits there for quite a few minutes, just sitting there and smiling at the camera. And it sort of encourages you to smile as well. And it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, even just hearing you explain that made me smile, just thinking of that. It's great.
Exactly, yeah, and that I think is part of, what we will, part of what will actually move us into a resource-based economy when we incorporate the expression of the positive, when we embrace the positive things, and I think I will have to contact Danny in whatever way I can to basically ask him, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this appreciation march? Like, where, shall I organize like an event like in my area? It's like, let's get together, let's do this. I think.
Yeah, let's build something. I would love to see things like that starting to happen more. That's just, that's great.
But I think on that note, I think that would be a brilliant note to end the podcast now. I would like to thank you very, very much for coming on, Aaron, and thank you for everyone else for coming on. Also, just again, if you want to throw out the pertinent websites, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely. People can check out my videos and my blog on theinfiniteyes.com. That's infinite with no E, but it'll work either way. My YouTube videos are on youtube.com/saydaysago2008. And probably the best way to stay updated with what I'm doing or thinking, or if anyone wants to message me or talk to me, just add me on Facebook. And it's facebook.com/theinfiniteyes, or if you search for Aaron Moritz, you'll find me. I'll probably have a lot of common friends with you if you're a Zeitgeist person, so shouldn't be too hard to find me.
Cool, that's fantastic. As for next month's podcast, I think I'm probably going to have a conversing with a critic show, or maybe some Q&A. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, so I guess you guys will have to wait and see. But as for me and Aaron, it's goodbye from me, and say goodbye, Aaron.
Goodbye.